Shalom Avracha. Chazal and in their wake the Rishonim, especially the Ramban, teach us a wonderful principle concerning Sefer Bereshis, and they say, Maaseh Avos Simon Labonim, meaning that everything that overcomes our fathers, the Avos, the Imahos, their children, Sefer Bereshis, all of their anecdotes, their stories, their events, their happenings, their interactions, all of this is not private. It's not a personal issue of the family of Avraham Avinu, but rather all of this is a precursor to what will happen to the Jewish people throughout the generations of the Jewish nation. And therefore, when we learn the book of Bereshis, when we learn about the Avos, we're learning about ourselves. We're learning about the history of the Jewish people and the moral structure of the Jewish people and the different challenges that the Jewish people need to overcome. That's what we read. That's what we learn about when we learn Sefer Bereshis. Yaakov Avinu, he leaves Eretz Yisrael twice. Twice he goes into exile. Once to Haran and the second time to Mitzrayim. And twice he comes back. The first time he's wounded on his way with a struggle against Esav, and yet he makes it back to Eretz Yisrael. Vayava Yaakov Shalem Ir Shechem. According to Rashi, it means he was healed. According to other Rishonim, it means he came complete, or he came to a place called Shalem. Either way, he makes it back, and so did we. After Galus Bavel, we made it back to Eretz Yisrael, the Olei Bavel, those who ascended from Bavel, Ezra, Nehemiah, 42,000 individuals who were able to make their way back and to build the second commonwealth, to build a Mikdash, Beis Hashmonai, the sovereignty that the Hasmonean dynasty restored to the Jewish people. All of that is Yaakov Avinu's first return and our first return back to the land. But Yaakov Avinu also comes back a second time after his long exile to Mitzrayim. And coming back from Mitzrayim, he comes back in an aron, comes back in a coffin, meaning he comes back dead. He's not alive. And nevertheless, Chazal say, you know what? There's still life there. Yaakov Avinu lo meis. Mazaro b'chaim, his nation lives, so he too lives. Even though he seems to be dead, there's no life left. Really there is. The same thing with us. We returned the second time after the horrors of the Holocaust, after the Shoah, and it seemed that there was nothing left. And speaking to the elderly, speaking to those who remember our situation on the morrow of the Holocaust, will say, it seemed like there was nothing left. It seems like the Jewish people was dead and buried. And nevertheless, we were able to arise from the ashes. We were able to make this incredible growth, this incredible flourishing of the Jewish people out of nothing that remained after the Holocaust. That is the miracle that we live today. It's the miracle of Yaakov's second return to the land. And our generation is a generation that continues to live that arising from the ashes, arising from nowhere. That bestows upon us an unbelievable responsibility, a responsibility to maintain it, a responsibility to ensure that this generation of uprising continues to lead, continues to follow the track of growth, of flourishing until we reach the destiny for which we're here. We didn't experience all of the miracles that brought us here to waste it on internal strife, on constant bickering and fighting and unwillingness to respect one another and reach the compromises that we need to reach in order to be united in our effort to make sure this goes on. The responsibility of Yaakov Avinu rests upon our shoulders. It's up to us to make good on that promise. We should all have a wonderful Shabbos. We should be Zeicher to B'sorot Tovot.